Good morning, children. Yesterday when we were discussing about the competitive, we have discussed about only 20 questions, right? Let me to continue. So today let's continue the remaining questions. The 21st question: a typical angiosperm embryo sac at maturity. Okay. So for the purpose of this question, you just recall the structure of female gametophyte or embryo sac. It's easy. A 7-celled, 8-nucleate stage. I hope you can remember. A typical angiosperm embryo at maturity is 8-nucleate and 7-celled, or we can also say 7-celled, 8-nucleate stage. Isn't it? Yeah. Then the next question: megaspore mother cell undergoes. So during the process, what will happen? Yes, the megaspore mother cell during megasporogenesis, that means it is undergo meiosis. Meiosis to produce how many cells? 4 megaspores. Of course, out of these 4, 3 will be degenerate, only 1 will become functional. That is also known as monosporic development. But here what they are given based on this topic, yes, what will the meiosis to produce 4 megaspores? Which is the right option? Option D. Yes. The next question, 23. In majority of flowering plants, okay, so that's what I said, 1 megaspore is functional while the other 3 degenerate. So this type of the development, it is also known as monosporic development. I hope you can remember. So that is a process actually, isn't it? Yeah. It's the right option. Option A is the right option. Next. This question, the 24th, is related to the pollination. Select the false statement regarding Clistogamous flower. The types of the pollination. I hope you can remember. Yes. First of all, we should know the meaning of the Clistogamous. What is the meaning of the Clistogamous flower? The flowers which do not open at all. You must remember, while we are discussing about the conditions for autogamy, I told you there are 2 types of the flowers, Chasmogamous and Clistogamous. Okay, in Clistogamous, the flowers which do not open at all. Example, viola or common pansy, oxalis and camelina. We have discussed, right? Here, this Clistogamous, why it is important? The Clistogamy can prevent inbreeding depression, isn't it? So that they can undergo, yes, instead of autogamy, they can undergo xenogamy, so which prevents the inbreeding depression, isn't it? What is inbreeding depression? I hope you can remember. Due to the continuous self-pollution, which may lead to the quality and quantity may decreases, isn't it? To avoid that one, it may undergo, that is, instead of autogamy, they undergo xenogamy. That is cross-pollination. Yeah. Next question. Which of the following sets of the plants can produce both Chasmogamous and Clistogamous? So just now I told you, when it comes to the examples, viola, oxalis and camelina, these are all species, they can undergo both Chasmogamous and Clistogamous. So let me do once again recall the definition of the Chasmogamous. The Chasmogamous means the flowers with exposed anthers and stigma, but they should lie close to each other. They are known as Chasmogamous. What about Clistogamous? The flowers which do not open at all. They are known as Clistogamous. Okay. The best example for both the condition, viola, oxalis and camelina. Got it? Yeah. The next question. Transfer of pollen grains from the anther to the stigma of another flower of the same plant is called, yes, that is nothing but Gitterogamy. Gitterogamy is nothing but the transfer of pollen grains from an anther of the flower to the stigma of another flower born on the same plant, isn't it? But remember, so it is functionally cross-pollination and requires pollinating agents, but genetically they are similar to autogamy since the pollen grains come from the same plant. Got it? Yeah. So which is the right option? Yes, C. 27th question. The more common abiotic pollination is. So this question, it comes under the types of the pollination. What is anemophily? What is hydrophily? Chiropterophily? Actually, the spelling mistake is happening. Chirophily, that is not chirophily, chiropterophily. Then entomophily. Yeah. If you know the meaning or the definition of the terminology, you can easily identify. Anemophily means the pollination by wind is called anemophily. The flowers, anemophilous. Hydrophily, the pollination by water. That is chiropterophily, the pollination by bats. Then entomophily is pollination by insects, isn't it? But here the more common abiotic pollination. Abiotic means, yes, non-living components, isn't it? Yeah. The anemophily is a more common abiotic pollination. Okay? Yeah. The next question, 28. In water hyacinth and water lily, the pollination takes place by, yes, as I said, it is not possible always with the abiotic agents. Biotic agents also they perform. That is nothing but entomophily and anemophily. Entomophily means the pollination by insects. Anemophily, the pollination by wind. Okay? Yeah. The next question, 29. The need to produce enormous amount of pollen when compared to number of ovules available for the pollination. Yeah, I told no. While we were discussing the theory also I told during the period of evolution, isn't it? For the purpose of the survival, to compensate for the uncertainties and loss of pollen grains. Okay, so which is the right option? Option C. How? See, I hope you can remember. Just recall the thing. Consider if the plant produces only few number of the pollen grains, if it will be not successful to transfer successful pollination, what may happen? In next generation there will be no such plants only. There will be no further generation. For that purpose, during the period of evolution, for the purpose of the survival, okay, only few may transfer. So, but if it will produce only few, there may be no sure seed set in further generation. For that purpose, to compensate for the uncertainties and loss of the pollen, it will produce huge number of the pollen grains. Okay? Yeah. The next question. The pollination by water. Hydrophily. Yes, pollination by water, hydrophily. It is limited. Remember, the pollination by water is quite rare in flowering plants and it is limited to about only 30 genera. And mostly monocotyledons, isn't it? Yeah, while we are discussing theory only, I told you. So that is the maximum number of cases, isn't it? It's about only 30 genera, mostly monocotyledons. Yes? Yeah. The next question. The most common type of agents of pollination are insects and is called entomophily. Yeah, pollination by insects. It's the most common one. Whatever you take insects, the bees, butterflies, there are different type of the insects, isn't it? The most common type of the agents of the pollination. They generally visit for the purpose of the nectar and for the purpose of the pollen, whatever it may be. So most of the common type of agents of pollination, especially biotic agents, it is insects. Okay, Yeah. The next question. The pollen tube enters the ovule through the micropyle and then enters one of the synergids through what will be the, yes, filiform apparatus. I hope you can remember clearly the filiform apparatus. While we are discussing about the pollen pistil interaction, I told you the filiform apparatus associated. Where it will be associated? Yes, towards the synergids and towards the micropylar end, isn't it? Yeah. So generally where the the pollen shed also will be takes place, isn't it? Yes. The pollen tube enters the ovule through the micropyle and then enters one of the synergids through the filiform apparatus. Got it? Yeah. Which is the right option? Option C. Yeah. Yes. Here it's also diagram they have given. Observe the diagram. Just label it. The longitudinal section of a flower showing growth of pollen tube. Label the pods. Just label it. Then after you can easily identify the options. A. Label A, the pollen tube. Label B, that is antipodal cells. Label C, that is polar nuclei. Label D, egg cell. Label E, synergids. Now you just compare with respect to the option. Is the right option? Yes. Option B is the right option. Okay? Yeah. So this is also this diagram we have discussed during pollen pistil interaction, how the pollen tube move towards the egg, isn't it? Yes. Next question. Which of the following is not the feature of insect pollinated flower? So that means whatever, just read the whatever the given the the statements so that you can identify. A large, colorful, fragrant and rich in nectar. So that is nothing but, yes, it is a characteristic. Yes. Small flower form inflorescence to make them visible. Then the flowers pollinated by flies and beetles secrete fall order to attract these animals. Yes. So they are nothing but these are all the features of insect pollinated flowers. What about option D? The pollen grains are generally non-sticky, so this is not a characteristic feature of insect pollinated flower. Instead of that one, this is characteristic features of wind pollinated flowers. I hope you can remember the characteristics while we are discussing about the characteristic features of anemophilous flower. These are one of the characteristics, isn't it? Yes. The next question. A moth species, okay, that is Tegeluca. That is nothing but Tegeticula species actually. Yeah. So which deposits its egg in the locule of the ovary. Yes. Which is that plant? Yucca. That. Yeah. So what will happen? I told you, for the purpose of the shelter, it will lay inside the eggs, and during that process it will pollinate. And when that comes out after the hatching of eggs, so again that will be moths will come out, isn't it? So this is nothing but symbiotic association. Yeah. Which is the right option? Option yeah. Next question. Which of the following is not included in outbreeding devices? So this question is nothing but related to the outbreeding devices. One of the statement is not included. That means not related. Avoiding synchronization. Yes, synchronization means to become mature or develop. Both male and female reproductive structures will become synchronized. That means nothing but at a time. If they avoid, there will be no possibility. So that they cannot go autogamy. Surely they have to undergo xenogamy. Then arrangement of anther and stigma in the different position. Yes. Okay. Then self-incompatibility. Then the production of bisexual flowers. Which is the right option? Option D. Which of the following is not included? Yes. Because in case of the bisexual flowers, surely they undergo autogamy. It will be not considered as a outbreeding devices, isn't it? Except that D, the remaining three statements considered as outbreeding devices. Yes. The last question. Yes. The removal of anthers from the bisexual flower bud of a female parent before the anther dehiscence is called emasculation. So there are two the terminologies we were discussed. Okay, you can remember what are those two terminologies? Emasculation and bagging, isn't it? What is the meaning of bagging? It is a technique of removal of anthers from the flower before they dehisce pollen grains to the stigma of the same flower is known as emasculation. What about bagging? That during artificial hybridization to prevent the contamination of pollen grains, the stigma of the flower should be covered by butter paper or polythene bags, isn't it? Yeah. So this question is related to the emasculation, that is nothing but artificial hybridization, isn't it? The removal of anthers from the bisexual flower bud of the female parent before the anther dehiscence is called emasculation. I hope I tried to explain in the easiest manner. You just write down all these questions. Okay, I will do one thing. After this class, I will send the link also, these questions. Just go through it. After that, without copying what are the options, try to self-evaluate also, so that it will be more easy to identify and understand the topics and in the easiest manner. Thank you.